Superman Shazam: The Return of Black Adam is a DC animated film. Well, technically it's a short. It's one of many shorts on this DVD, but it's the main title. It's the longest one, so let's talk about that first. The premise is we meet this little kid, Billy Batson, who you see him, he's living on his own, he's an orphan, and he idolizes Superman until one day he gets attacked, or at least this guy, Black Adam, tries to kill him. He doesn't know why, he doesn't know what's going on, until he meets this wizard, Shazam, who gives him the power, turns him into this superhero, Captain Marvel. And along with some help of Superman, they face this villain. Now, what I think of this particular short is, I like it. I do. Sure, it's quick, it's short, but I think that's, hell, the whole premise of this is to take one single issue. So maybe it's in the middle of a story, or maybe it's involved in a long continuous arc, but you get that one single issue, and it's almost like we jump right into the story, and we jump into what's already going on, which is kind of cool, because if you do happen to buy an issue of a story, a comic, that's how it goes. And getting the origin of Captain Marvel, I think, was cool. I was aware of the character. I knew the character. I kind of grew up on the character. When I say grow up, I was aware of him growing up. I didn't know everything about him. So seeing his origin here was very cool. And I grew up knowing him as Captain Marvel. And it used to confuse me how he was named Captain Marvel, but yet he was a DC character. I still don't know how they got away with that for as long as they did. More recently, they don't call him Captain Marvel anymore. They just call him Shazam, which to me is just weird because Shazam was always the wizard where he got his powers from, but I guess we're just going to change that now. I get it. It's easier for more people to grasp, but still, I'm still getting used to it. So seeing all of that here is interesting. I do admit, though, that since magic is such a big thing with this character and even Black Adam, I always resist magic or seeing Superman face magic. It's something that I know it's dumb for me to get so hung up on magic being in comic books, where, characters having superpowers in general is outlandish and over the top, but for some reason magic doesn't have the same reaction to me. I don't buy it as much, but in any event, Black Adam is a pretty threatening villain. He's powerful, he's menacing, he's evil, he has no regard for human life at all. When he comes to Earth, instantly killing this young couple, which is disturbing. But then later on, when he's challenging Captain Marvel, and he grabs this one woman by the neck and he's threatening to snap her neck because it's so easy for him to do because they're weak and he's so powerful. He, in fact, got his powers from the Shazam wizard also. He was supposed to be what Captain Marvel is, but he went on his own evil way. So that too is another thing. He's a fallen hero of sorts. Now, seeing Superman here, I don't know how much I buy that Superman can't handle this Black Adam by himself. Again, Black Adam, it makes him look good as a villain that Superman's having so much trouble, but it's almost if Superman wouldn't be able to defeat him if it wasn't for Captain Marvel. I don't know. Whatever. I'm nitpicking. I do just like the idea of Captain Marvel, him being this young kid, 12 years old or so, and when he says Shazam, lightning strikes, and he turns into a full-grown man with the costume, and he reminds me a lot of Superman, by the way he looks, his demeanor, but he's still a kid at heart, and I like that. when they do eventually do the live action movie, I can't wait to see how they pull this character off. It's so different. It's so unlike any other character we've ever seen before. So that's what makes it interesting. And also just him looking up to Superman. What a better character for him to grab that innocence and inspiration from. Now, that's not the only animated short film on this DVD. Like I said, there's a couple other ones. Let's talk about the Spectre, who this character, I can't believe that they release comic books of the Spectre. The Spectre is, well, in the short, you see this murder happens. This guy in his pool gets blown up by a bomb. So this detective comes in and he's trying to figure out who the killer is. And along the way, people are being killed by this Spectre person. And the Spectre looks almost like a ghost. He has these powers. And he almost goes after these people, various people, in a horror movie-like way. I mean, he's disturbing, he's scary, and he messes with these people before he in fact kills them. And the whole twist of it is that it was the guy's daughter who got him killed. So this Spectre person is actually the detective. And the detective goes around, and when he sees these cases, when he sees what's going on, somebody doing something that they're not supposed to do, he becomes the Spectre, takes it upon himself, and kills them. Like the Punisher, but dare I say worse, because of how he goes about it. And I don't know if I could ever see that be in a movie. I mean, if they ever did it, it would have to be rated R, and it would have to be almost like a horror. It wouldn't be anything like a superhero movie that we've ever seen before. So for that, it is interesting, but controversial, like I said. Now, there's a Green Arrow short, which is something I like a lot. You see Merlin, who is trying to kill this little girl. She's surrounded by security, and they're at an airport, and they're trying to kill her because she's next in line to be the Queen of England. So you see Oliver Queen, who is trying to protect her. He's facing Merlin, and even Count Vertigo shows up, which is very cool because I was aware again of the Green Arrow character, but now that I'm watching the Arrow TV show and they have used a lot of these characters, seeing them in their comic book form and their original forms is fascinating. You even have the Black Canary showing up as someone who he's obviously in a relationship with. In fact, he proposes to her in this short. Very touching, very, very cool to see that. And there's another short of Jonah Hex. And Jonah Hex, watching that short makes me sad. It makes me sad because it reminds me how shitty that movie was, that live action movie, where it's like this animated 10-minute short could portray the character, could introduce the character as such a badass, so cool, and so very cohesive and edgy, whereas the movie couldn't touch that. The movie just was an abomination to any comic book film ever. It's wow. Anyways, guys, I enjoyed this. This is fun. It's not one of my favorite because it is just a bunch of 10, 15-minute shorts, but it's a cool idea. I wouldn't mind if they did a little bit more stuff like it, especially for the lesser-known characters. Why not? Let me know in the comments below if you have seen this DVD. What do you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!